want to show you some more toilet paper jewelry as as I'm talking about gang stalking, and this way you get an idea of how it would look, and I'll give you information about the V2K talkers. So that's what I put a playlist under, V2K, which is the voice of God technology, the talkers. So I want to talk about their emotional state. So today they're fearful, they're very afraid, and they said they want me to quote them, but they said I may misquote them. But they seem to keep suggesting things, and the quotes that I've already done, they seem to agree with, and they've said. But for some reason today, they're afraid that I may sabotage them and not quote them correctly. Again, I would have to be around these people. And again, this goes back to what I said, the Jezebel versus the Mammy, and I'm going to go over that after I tell you their quote. But I would have to take care of them all day, every day, because that's who they are. So they said the quote that they want me to tell you, and they said, I give you guys this look. Let me really get it right, because they don't like when I have like things in my eyes and chapped lips. So maybe I might have a booger or a hair coming out of my nose, because I have to look right after they've hit me in the head and made me sick. They said, I'll give you guys that look. Like, I'm sick of them. Yeah, I am. So the quote is, they said they're going out of their skin. I've never heard of that phrase ever. And that's part of what they wanted to do. They said they wanted to come up with catchphrases for me, which proves that they weren't always listening to me. If you always listen to me, you wouldn't come up with catchphrases for me. You would know the catchphrases. And that's, again, something I said before. I don't use the word catchphrase. Like, I mean, just in regular talk, I'm around my apartment. They said I was talking to myself. Do you really think if I'm talking to myself, I would say catchphrase? Come on. That is something I would say. Come on. Come on, folks. So anyway, you heard that? Again, they said during the day they use kid sounds to make it seem like there are kids playing. I'm on the 14th floor. But that's during the day. What time is it right now? It's 7:49 a.m. There is no kid that sounds like that. So they just said there are no kids that sound like that. Okay. So there is no kid that sounds like that. I don't know. You see how, like, in that quick moment, I thought I said there is no kid that sounds like that. And they just said there are no kids, meaning that's how this was supposed to work. I was supposed to keep getting confused, because what they target is up here. It's your short-term memory. Big deal. That's a really big deal. I didn't say that sarcastically. I just said big deal, meaning that's a really big deal. And I'm telling you stuff that I wouldn't know. I'm telling you from my life, my experience. And that's part of why this had to do with something bigger. So yeah, they're like, wow, yeah, this is a big wow. I went from like crafting to telling you stuff about things I would not have known. So they said they're trying to stop other people from hearing this information. And they said, again, those aren't kids. So there is a TV on in the kitchen, but over there, those aren't kids. So I'm pointing in this direction for the kitchen and this direction for outside. This wall, like I told you before, is the street. You guys already know that's a window. This wall in this direction is my mother's bedroom. There isn't anyone in there. So you can tell the difference. And again, when I was so swollen, you can see I'm not that swollen today. The sounds were so loud. Again, something I never would have known, that when you're swollen, the sounds are so loud. And it was hard to tell direction. Not just your equilibrium. So when I was massaging behind my ears, the swimmer's ear went away. And I told you that in 2017, a guy came into the boutique in World Trade Center and said, "Is there something wrong with your hearing?" You know, not in a sarcastic way, but more like he was trying to figure it out. And they even admit they were testing this out, which is why they said they always wanted to surround me with these people, because they came up with a computer generation. They invested a computer generated me. So a computer generation, I don't know, to test this out. And they said when I was at the Department of Motor Vehicles, they said in 2019, they had the computer set up there, and they said in my brain I was thinking Mary had a little lamb. I don't know. This is a lot of different things. I don't know what they just said. I don't know what they just said. I can't understand what they just said. Anyway, so they said there was a computer generated me, and in 2019 they tested it out, and they thought I was thinking about the song Mary Had a Little Lamb, which goes back to what I said about sort of these child songs that we had as children, like nursery rhymes and little children's songs, and how that is how a sing song works. So your brain waves can sync with something like that, which goes back to what I said about commercials. So let me go over this whole thing, and then I will stop this video because there was something I wanted to say, but I forgot with all of this extra stuff. I would not have been able to function. That's how I know this didn't happen when I was a kid. I wouldn't have been able to focus. I would have been like, they said scatterbrain. Again, not a word I would use. I wouldn't use the word scatterbrain, but again, something they said. I wouldn't have been able to focus. Could you imagine being in school and looking in this direction? I would not have done that. It wouldn't have worked. So the whole point goes back to why would they do this? They did it to, again, they used the word railroad. They did it to put me in a position of mental illness and seem mentally ill, but instead they gave me seizures and put me in a hospital. So if you're going to talk about railroading, I wasn't railroaded into the mental illness route. I was railroaded into the hospital route. So yeah, I'm going to stop this video, and then I can't remember what I was going to say. They kept interrupting, and they called themselves interrupting something. I don't know what it was. Something interrupting. I don't know. But okay, let me stop this video and then go find what I was going to say before I was interrupted.